Hello everyone, so nice to have you here. There is Dr. Marianne Juntunen, who has a PhD in education for sustainable development. She's also a teacher trainer. Marianne is also the advisory board member in our project.
Thank you so much, Johanna. It's an honor to be here and it's so pleasure to meet everybody around the world. Today's topic is how to transform education through ESD. It's good to define sustainable development. It is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. To whom do you extend your compassion and kindness? Are you focusing on the kind of like the survival of yourself and your own family and perhaps your own community, or can you extend a compassion to country, people, or could even all animals? The development goals are also defined by United Nations for 2030, and the most important thing that they define, I think, is the hierarchy of the goals. The biosphere is supporting society and economy. It's the foundation of our wealth and well-being. We might quite often forget the importance of the biosphere. The life on land, the life below water, the climate, everything is supporting us. And even though in Finland, the sustainable development of society, it's quite high, the education about the biospheric values is not enough. So that's also interesting, like which levels do you think that at your country education is focusing? So for a few minutes, I give the stage to Karla Soto, who will tell her story.
Thank you, Marianne. I am a chemistry teacher from Chile and currently enrolled in a master's program in pedagogy and teaching for sustainability here in Finland. And so I would like to share a bit of my story and how I ended up here. My interest in sustainability started more concretely around 2018 while I was living in Denmark. And while living there, I started dumpster diving and I realized that I was able to find all kinds of edible food in the containers of the supermarkets. Also all kinds of useful items. People keep discarding things that are still that you can still use. That was a huge impact to me coming from Chile. That is something that I never saw while living in Chile or visiting other countries in Latin America, for instance. It's something that I only saw when I first moved to Europe. So later on in 2019, I was trying to find a way to connect science education with sustainability because I thought from what I had seen, this is something that not many people is talking about, like why aren't we addressing this problem of, for instance, food waste? And I did one course with EduGems. And one of the things that struck me the most was this framework called the planetary boundaries. And this particular image that you're seeing here that show us like how we as humanity or how planet Earth is responding to the human changes that we have imposed. For instance, if we check climate change, we're far beyond this safe operating space, meaning that Earth cannot predict what's gonna, how Earth is gonna react to, in particular, climate change. And when we check, for instance, the biochemical flows, phosphorus and nitrogen, this was something that really shocked me because we give Nobel Prizes to scientists that can change and alter and fix nitrogen from the earth to turn it into fertilizers. And that created such disbalance that now it's beyond the planetary boundaries. But where is that discussion in chemistry? Are we teaching considering this crisis? And in this, there's increasing agreement that we need to move towards sustainable societies. And there's also like serious critiques to the current dominant economic system that we have. The failure to bend global emissions stems from the existing paradigm of progress that basically resists to change. It's rooted in our in our current dominant socioeconomic system that privilege exploitation of natural resources without considering the environment. But I think that we can still find inspiration, for instance, the degrowth movement, some ideas in circular economy. I was surprised also to feel very inspired by social movements, ecofeminism, and even decolonization.
We want more low carbon jobs, which might be arts, like healthcare, education. The communities should get stronger, more self-sufficient, democratic, and praise the human rights, planetary rights. So we need other kinds of measurements for the progress than GDP. And this kind of changes, like political programs like Green New Deal, which has all kind of social movements behind it, means that the change will become as strong as the demand will be. So the majority of the people want to make the better world, want to do the change, but the opposition is strong because the people who have the most money, many of them are depending on the oil companies and this kind of fossil fuel industry or finance. And the question is that, do we still believe in the change? Can we become so strong together that we can still make the change for our children and for our future? There's a lot of hope, but there's also like a big danger. So today I come to the concerns of the students and teachers and some solutions as well. Students are confused, future is unsure and unstable. It's even unlivable in many parts of the world. So only learning knowledge at a school is definitely not enough. And kids are not responsible in solving these problems, but the kids can still learn about these problems and they need the action skills, in particular to push the adults. The nature relationships are also variable. When you take students to the nature, we can see that some people are more in the nature and for some people it's even a scary place. And as a solution, we want to transform the whole societies through ESD, which is one part of the change. And it's the SDG 4.7 from United Nations, this education for sustainable development. However, it is still mostly unknown and unused in schools around the world. Its implementation is urgent. This means that the schools and educational establishments have a crucial role to play in renewing the mindsets, skills, values, meanings required for sustainability. And what are then the crucial learning goals for students? For example, the tangible, such as material flows, different life cycles of products, basics of circular economy, climate change to be scaled at carbon dioxide equivalent levels and scales of actions, because there are like big and small actions to be made, basics of urban planning, taking action. This kind of learning goals can be measured. But then there are also the learning goals that are hard to measure, intangible, such as argumentation skills, collaboration skills, communication, critical thinking, creativity, and career readiness, as well as reflection skills. So we want to teach the students life skills, not only that 1 + 1 = 2. So, and what should we then learn and how? We should learn about planetary boundaries, megatrends, systems, levels, and scales, the facts. We should learn it in a student-centered way, in a solution-oriented way, and phenomenon-based approach, because these are all our multidisciplinary phenomenons, cross-curricular. EduGems model we've created focuses on 3 crucial skills: discovery skills, action skills, and collaboration skills. Teachers are also struggling, not only the students. And actually at the moment, 95% of the teachers think it is essential to teach this ESD, but fewer than 40% feel confident to cover climate education. Let me tell you about a teacher who we met. She wanted to integrate more education for sustainable development in their school curriculum into all areas of education. but their school did not have expertise, support. They didn't have time, knowledge. They didn't have tools, learning paths for the teachers or students. They lacked of networks. So we've trained teachers around the world, and these are the problems they face. Do you relate to any of these challenges? So I think most of the people answered. And then thank you for answering. At principles level, the whole curriculum can become more motivating for the whole school. And as an example, since 1985, ESD was already a part of the curriculum in Finland, and now it's mentioned even 197 times. And as I already mentioned, the social sustainability increases, and it has the most attention at schools, perhaps around the world, but also we should focus on ecological dimension. And the teachers, they learn 21st century teaching pedagogies, positive pedagogy. They learn how to use STEAM pedagogy for sustainable development. They get inner motivation for their work. They think that this is important. And also when they use real life topics, it's really interesting. And students, they learn collaboration, communication, critical thinking, creativity, inner motivation also. So one experience, there is a multidisciplinary learning module in Finland, which involves freedom to choose for the students. We must have those at least once and one per year, and it has to be a week long and a minimum 3 subjects. It means that we plan together the learning goals with the students and teacher teams. We plan together the contents, evaluation, and further development. It's nothing too serious. We can focus on kind of like motivating things. Yeah, the life cycle of a product can be a part of it, or developing an eco product, but most often they are like even greater aims, like eco-social well-being of our school, taking action together, future thinking, this kind of like big issues like health or nature or something like that. All students of all ages can easily relate. Fun that ESD is STEAM because it involves already this phenomenon-based approach and student-centered thinking skills. STEAM doesn't have to be and include always robotics or coding. It can be also like something to construct together, for example, urban planning. But at least in English language, there is a global lack of lessons where the students can use their whole capacity to understand systemic wicked global challenges. We might underestimate the students' capacity. So they can reach about the same level than us adults can if we give them a chance, give them some tools. So students are able to critically think and participate in making real changes if we help them, if we let them, if we encourage them. So let me show you one example about these wicked problems. So a few years ago, we produced some videos for the students. There are 6 of them in English.
Problem is a problem that does not have a simple solution. In fact, it is a problem that no one knows exactly how to solve, as each solution to the problem causes new problems. What makes wicked problems evil is that if nothing is done about them, they will only become bigger problems. But at the same time, we may only have one chance to try to solve them. If we try the wrong things or take too long in trying to solve them, we may not get a second chance. Wicked problems are found all around us. For instance, deciding on nuclear power is a wicked problem because it may cause a catastrophe, but it may also help us avoid another catastrophe, climate change. Or another example, using plastic. Plastic helps protect our food, and it is more durable and moldable than many other products. However, plastic waste kills animals, and currently scientists are doing research to find out whether microplastics can be found even in our drinking water. However, some wicked problems are more wicked than others. Especially some environmental problems, such as climate change, are very challenging to solve, as it is tied to environmental, economic, and societal issues. For this reason, climate change is sometimes called a super wicked problem. Let's take a closer look. Climate change is caused by greenhouse gases, such as CO2, Breathe into the environment. If governments were to suddenly ban greenhouse gas emissions, we could stop worrying about climate change, but we would have new problems. Factories would need to close down, and people would need to stop driving. This would cause economic problems, as people would not be able to go to work, and the price of producing goods, such as food and toilet paper, would skyrocket. This would cause people to lose their jobs and not be able to afford to pay rent or buy food. This would cause unrest, such as protests and looting. As we need to avoid this at all costs, the only solution is to gradually reduce greenhouse gas emissions. This can be done by replacing our energy consumption with renewable energy sources. However, nobody is absolutely sure how fast this transition should be made. If it is done too fast, it will cost enormous amounts of money, as alternative technology is still developing. This will cause the prices of goods to go up, causing societal changes. If it is done too slowly, the environmental effects may be irreversible, again, costing enormous amounts of money and causing societal changes. However, the stakes are high, and we won't know the right approach except in hindsight. Only time will tell how our standard of living will need to change in order to save our environment that we strongly rely on. However, what is certain is that if nothing is done, climate change will affect us all, and therefore we are dealing with a super wicked problem. Sometimes it may feel like there is no light at the end of the tunnel. However, there is always hope if all of us take this problem seriously. So what could you do to start solving this problem? 1. Start by examining your own or your family's carbon footprint to understand which of your actions contribute to the problem. Then challenge yourself and your family to reduce those actions that have the greatest impact. Make it fun and choose how you will reward yourself when you reach your goal. 2. Examine what your town or city could do to help solve the problem. Maybe city planning, public transportation, or bike roads need to be improved. Maybe it's something else. Whatever it is, find it and then relentlessly contact your local politicians to ask them to do something about the issue. 3. Keep on educating yourself on the issue. You might want to consider becoming a scientist, an engineer, an architect, or someone else who gets paid to come up with new, cool ideas to help solve this and many other problems we face. Together with your teacher, make a plan on what you will do and when. Also, think about things you still need to learn in order to make a greater impact. Start small, dream big, and remember to constantly challenge yourself.
Knowing this challenge that we are facing, this Future Innovators STEAM for Sustainable Development program, our solution on this problem. So one case from our school, we have an environmental action group and come together during a school day once in a month. And then we plan some actions that then like the whole school can take part to these actions. They wanted to do this year's school garden, composting, better recycling. They wanted to educate the younger students about energy saving. They wanted to arrange a sharing toys day for the smaller students and some vegan food tasting.
So hello, my name is Marianne Vesterinen. I'm a class teacher and a health education teacher. Sustainability is an important value for me, and I try to live life with sustainability in mind. So now I study sustainability competencies, meaning knowledge, skills, and values required for sustainability in primary school education. It is shown in many studies that individual connection with nature is associated with higher pro-environmental behaviors and attitudes. It can improve those skills that Marianne has already represented: discovery skills, action skills, and collaboration skills. And being in nature improves your health. Outdoor education doesn't mean expensive trips. You can work in your own schoolyard and nearby. In Finland, teachers are used to take classes outside, so it's quite natural for us. Biology, it's natural that you can go on and check what is living there around you. Geography, I have seen students, for example, drawing a map to the ground. Maths you can do, and languages, learn new words. And PE, physical education. And of course, adult education is a good way to have this multidisciplinary projects. Children are very good at inventing games by themselves. And of course, there is arts. You can use nature materials and create pieces of art, and working together improves collaboration skills as well. Let your students be creative and use their imagination. They are very good at it.
Only a few slides more about positive pedagogy. It's an experience where you still could relax at school, that you could be somehow valued as a participator. Opinions would be valued, how the students think that they could even enjoy the school day, or how they feel that they are enough, that their work is enough, how to formulate it to be supportive and strength-based. Few other examples, how to create a learning environment where every student is equal enough and have a chance to succeed. Like instead of always saying a student that don't run, tell them that what are they expected to do. Like instead of running, please walk, or instead of interrupting, drink a glass of water, have a pause, and they need guidance. Also, this traffic light photo is about that the teacher can only show using a hand that, okay, now it's going well, or please stop. So they don't need always to use their voice, which also might be relaxing. I strongly believe that all children are nice and all children are good. They only have situations and background. So we should keep it in our minds that children are doing their best. If they get the opportunity and if it's safe enough, they will learn. So as being said, the internet is full of free materials from UNESCO, eco-schools, NGOs, self-study materials. And if you need guidance to lesson planning and discussions, then we can support you. We try to address the ecological sustainability as well, which is absent from most of the world's lesson plans, and skills to apply come directly from us, because we try not to focus on too much to the theory, except on really practical lessons. And also this QR code leads you to the link. There are free resources from us, and there is also an audit checklist of ESG practices that you can check that how your school is doing these ESG approaches. And links for these free resources are found there as well. So you can test your understanding about ESG. You can watch a webinar about eco-emotions and action skills, including some tasks. And also there is a free course, What Does the Research About ESG Suggest? Now we are in the end of our presentation. We'll show you our group Education for Sustainable Development, ESD teachers. Also principals are warmly welcome, and every educator is in the Facebook. I hope you feel motivated to continue somehow. I really expect you to contribute to ESD because the situation is urgent. I also like if you get more people to participate and collaborate. And I'm more than happy if your school unites behind the scientific facts, and if you have a possibility to become like brave activists as possible for the better world. We must do our best to ensure the safer future for our children.
I think great examples, great ideas. I think we can all continue this interesting discussion in our hub, if that's possible. But before that, I would like to thank you, Team EduGems, Marianne, Karla, and Marjo. Thank you so much for your inspiring presentation. It gave me, at least, many new ideas and perspectives. And I also want to thank everyone who participated today. And we so much hope that all of you who are interested in these topics would join our hub. In the hub, there will be not only these discussions, but also interesting materials and also other events after this one. So please check it out. And also this recording of this presentation will go to the hub. But on behalf of the whole OTTER team, I want to thank everyone who was present today. Keep up the great work, and I hope we will meet each other in one way or the other around these important topics. Thank you everyone so much, and have the great rest of the day. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.